I was addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around. Today, I'm going to recap a 2022 action comedy film called Bullet Train. The film opens at a hospital in Tokyo. Yuichi Kimura, the father, is by the bedside of his son Wataru, who has been pushed off a rooftop while his father was absent. Yuichi's father, the elder, arrives and reminds his son that fathers are supposed to protect their families. Yuichi goes off to find whoever hurt his son. An assassin named Ladybug is returning to work after a leave of absence. He considers the name ironic, as he doesn't believe he is lucky like ladybugs usually are. He is also filling in for another assassin, Carver, who is sick. Ladybug speaks to his handler, Maria Beetle, who assigns him to board a bullet train heading from Tokyo to Kyoto. His task is to recover a briefcase containing money with a train sticker on the handle. As he makes his way over, Ladybug gets bumped into by Yuichi, causing him to drop a key to a locker and his train ticket. Ladybug breaks into the locker to find a gun, but he declines to take it despite Maria's insistence. On board the train are twin brother assassins, Tangerine and Lemon. They were sent by a crime boss known as the White Death to recover his son, as he is a junkie that can't be trusted on his own. Lemon lives much of his philosophy based on Thomas the Tank Engine, and he relates certain people to characters from the show. Tangerine explains to Lemon how White Death was a Russian wanderer who ended up working as the right-hand man of a Yakuza boss named Minakishi, until he ended up forming his gang and betraying Minakishi and killing him. While keeping the son company, the brothers argue about how many people they killed altogether. One was an innocent bystander in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yuichi boards the train after finding a lead on who pushed Wataru. He is tased by an assassin called the Prince, who pretends as an innocent schoolgirl to throw people off to their true nature. When he wakes up, she tells him that she pushed Wataru to lure Yuichi to her, as he supplied Lemon and Tangerine with the briefcase. She wants Yuichi's help rigging the briefcase and giving it to White Death to kill him. Prince has also rigged a gun to blow his head up when the trigger is pulled. To force Yuichi to cooperate, Prince tells him that she has a henchman at the hospital, ready to kill Wataru if he doesn't hear from her. Ladybug recovers the briefcase, but is told by the conductor that he has to get off at the first stop because he doesn't have his ticket. Before he steps out, he is found by another assassin known as the Wolf. A flashback shows Wolf working his way up in the cartel under a boss called El Saguaro and looking for his wife. However, everyone at Wolf's wedding was poisoned, including El Saguaro and Wolf's wife. He believes Ladybug is responsible for their deaths, and he attempts to kill him. The two fight in the bar car before Wolf's knife bounces off the briefcase and plunges into his heart, killing him. Ladybug covers up Wolf's wounds and calls Maria. She informs him that he was a cocktail waiter at Wolf's wedding, and the tequila served there was spiked with poison from a boomslang snake, which was stolen from a zoo in Tokyo and is actually on the train. Lemon and Tangerine discover the missing briefcase, and the son has also been poisoned. They cover his face up and clean the blood before going off to find Ladybug. Ladybug encounters Lemon in the quiet car and recognizes him from a job in Johannesburg. They fight, with Ladybug trying to disarm Lemon. Ladybug ultimately knocks Lemon out and spikes his water bottle with sleeping powder. Ladybug then switches clothes with another passenger and talks to Maria again. She tells him that another assassin, the Hornet, was hired by White Death and is on the train. Meanwhile, Tangerine has to get off at the next stop briefly to meet with White Death's goons to assure them that the job is going according to plan. Tangerine finds Ladybug and fights him, believing that Ladybug poisoned White Death's son. Ladybug opens an emergency door and causes the two to nearly fly out of the train before pulling themselves back in. White Death contacts Tangerine to let him know that if they do not show up with the son and the briefcase, he will kill everyone on the train. The two attempt to fool White Death's men by posing as brothers and using a different briefcase, but Ladybug accidentally opens it and blows their cover, forcing them to run back onto the train. Ladybug kicks Tangerine off the train before it starts moving again, but he manages to hop back on board before it pulls away too fast. Lemon comes across Yuichi and Prince, and he quickly determines that both of them are not there for noble purposes. Lemon shoots Yuichi, but he knows not to trust Prince. Unfortunately, he drank the spiked water and ended up passing out. Prince shoots Lemon in the chest and hide him and Yuichi in the bathroom. Ladybug runs into Hornet, who was in disguise on the train as an anime character, before swapping clothes with the concession girl. She steals the boomslang snake from the zoo and uses its venom to kill her victims, as the venom thickens the blood and makes the victims bleed from every orifice. Hornet poisoned everyone at Wolf's wedding, as she was also there as a pastry chef. Ladybug fights Hornet, who is there to collect her payment. Hornet tries to get the antivenom, but Ladybug takes it before her and watches her crawl away to die. Tangerine finds Lemon's body in the bathroom and tries to go after his killer. He talks to White Death again, who says that he bought every last ticket to Kyoto, so there would only be the remaining few on the train. Tangerine runs into Prince and is almost fooled by her, until he sees Lemon left a sticker of the character Diesel from Thomas, meaning he knew she was a villain. Before Tangerine can kill Prince, Ladybug finds him again and fights him, ending with Ladybug shooting Tangerine in the neck, leaving him to bleed out before he can warn Ladybug about Prince. Ladybug tries to get Prince off the train at the next stop, but she deliberately keeps them on, fooling him with her innocent act. The Elder then boards the train since he overheard Prince on the phone and knew something was wrong on the train. He sits near Ladybug and Prince until Ladybug gets scared away when the boomslang snake comes and bites him. The Elder confronts Prince, who prepares as her henchman gets ready to kill Wataru. However, the Elder prepared for this and had his assassin posing as a nurse, and she kills Prince Guy before he can touch Wataru. Prince flees, and Ladybug returns. The Elder talks to him about how Ladybug thinks he is unlucky and leaves him with the belief that everything happens for a reason. He also tells the story of how he was Minekishi's original confidant before White Death betrayed them, and he vowed revenge on White Death for the death of his wife. Yuichi and Lemon then woke up, and Lemon was wearing a bulletproof vest. When he sees that Tangerine is dead, he becomes enraged and tries to go after Ladybug, but Yuichi and the Elder have them work together as they prepare to face White Death. The train arrives in Kyoto as White Death prepares to board. Prince confronts him, and it is revealed that they are father and daughter. She wants to get his attention since he favors his son, and she attempts to get him to kill himself with the rigged gun, but he walks away from trying to kill her. The others confront him outside while White Death's goons try to open the rigged briefcase. White Death then explains that everyone on that train was there because he orchestrated it. He wanted revenge for the death of his wife, who was killed in a car accident that was an assassination attempt on him. Lemon and Tangerine killed White Death's men on a job in Bolivia, and he supplied them with info on other assassins. He also did not care for his son, as his wife's attempt to bail him out again from his crimes that led to her death. Hornet was lured there because she poisoned the surgeon that could have saved his wife's life. Finally, he believes Ladybug is Carver, who orchestrated the assassination attempt. He was betting on all the assassins to kill each other. The briefcase then explodes just as Lemon gets the train to start running. Ladybug runs back on and is chased by White Death and his goons. The Elder battles White Death on the train, while Ladybug and Lemon fight off the henchmen as the train speeds out of control. As they kill the henchmen, Ladybug attempts to hit the emergency brakes. Lemon throws himself and the last henchman out of the train as they pass over a bridge. Before White Death can kill the Elder, Ladybug hits the brakes, and Elder seizes an opportunity to impale his enemy close to death. The train then derails and crashes into a town. The surviving men exit the train, and White Death attempts to execute Ladybug, but he grabs the rigged gun and blows half his head off. Prince then tries to finish off Ladybug and the Kimuras, but she gets run over by a Tangerine truck. Maria then arrives in person to rescue Ladybug, while he part with the Kimuras. He has embraced a positive outlook on life and believes he is lucky until a telephone pole comes crashing down onto Maria's car, forcing them to walk. As the credits start, we see that Lemon survived the fall of the train and hijacked the Tangerine truck so he could run over Prince and avenge Tangerine. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.